stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. Jules in the building. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Is the red hair like just a consistent thing? Is it like...
Yeah, it's consistent.
When did it like begin like and kind of became part of like the brand? Because I've seen you in like all the videos, obviously on the gram.
Yeah, honestly, I've had red hair since I was like 18, 19. I'm 23.
Oh, wow. So it's really just been like consistent over the years.
Yeah, honestly been consistent. I had red hair before I made any songs. But when I started performing, they started calling me the girl with the red hair. So I was like, I gotta keep it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
you're like, fuck it, I gotta keep it now.
Yeah.
Like, were the eyebrows always red too?
No, they weren't always red. But I was like, one day when I was dyeing my hair, because my natural hair is red too, I was like, I'm about to dye my eyebrows too. And it was actually one brow red, one brow black. Then it went one brow red, one brow purple.
Oh, you went through some phases, huh?
Yeah. I kind of change every week, though. But it's always red, though.
Well, this is this week's. What's next week's?
I don't know. I might ask Instagram.
What was last week's?
No, I've been on the pink and red.
Okay.
I love the pink and red. I think that's my favorite.
Why did you start with the red hair at 18?
Honestly, that's when I went to college, and I've been wanting to dye my hair red. And so it was like, you know, when you go off by yourself.
Right, so you kind of
do whatever I want, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of like could restart as like a new person too.
Exactly.
So like when you went off to college, that was like the restart.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm in my own person, can do what I want on my own time.
What'd you go to school for?
English and business.
Okay. Did you finish or?
No, I decided to try to turn up.
It didn't work out, right?
Not that it didn't work out. It's just like it's not necessarily what I really wanted to do.
Okay.
So, and I didn't feel like what I wanted to do was like necessarily something I need to go get a degree for. I'm not like anti-school, but for what I want to do, it's just kind of like it's a grind outside of school.
Right. It was more like a hustle that you enjoyed more than just kind of like going to school and then getting a job and whatnot. Was that like, did you kind of like already know that too, like even before you decided to go to school, that you're like, you know, maybe I want to pursue other things? Obviously, music is where we're at right now, but like, was that kind of always something that was in the back of your mind the whole time too?
Yeah, I kind of always knew. I kind of just went to college just to get out the house, honestly, just like grow up, move on, like after high school. But honestly, I was a makeup artist first. So it was like I've always just been like creative. I've been singing forever, but I was like, I'm a makeup artist. I knew I wanted to be a singer, but I just felt like I couldn't write a song or something like that. So, yeah.
Well, before we get to songwriting, so you said you always been a singer. Were you like, when growing up, were you like in a church choir? Like,
yeah, I was singing in church.
Okay.
Yeah, I was singing in church for sure.
It's a very different contrast to what you sing now, right?
It's different for sure. Like sonically, like the sound is different, but in general, I feel like my lyrics are like helping people. So it's like same concept.
Same outcome.
Yeah, same outcome.
Same outcome.
Yeah.
Do you come from like a super like Catholic family like that type of background, or?
It's not Catholic, Christian. My mom's
Christian,
a pastor.
Okay. Oh, your mom's a pastor.
Yeah.
So like when you were, so obviously you were, well, I wouldn't say forced, but they had you singing in the choir at a young age. How do you like go from then, you know, doing the choir stuff and then expanding into like R&B and kind of start expanding your palette during that time? And also, was your mom like accepting of like that palette expanding into like R&B and other sounds?
Yeah, no, she was definitely accepting and very supportive of me just branching out and doing my thing in general. But I would say like the problem is like when you're at church, singing in church, you're not performing. Like it's not a performance. You don't have to put on a show. It's just about vocals and your words. So basically, I got so used to doing that, I would go do a show and just stand in one place. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm singing.
Like stiff.
Yeah, I was very stiff. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm used to just like getting the lyrics off and making you feel me through my voice instead of putting on a show. Like, okay, I have a lot of pop songs. How are you trying to be a pop star and you standing in one place? So it's like, but I got so used to that thinking it was okay. But then I guess that's the only difference. Like me personally, I'm okay with singing to somebody before talking to somebody. Like I don't mind singing to somebody at all. It's just like when I first started off getting into the rhythm of moving around, it was like,
Right.
Yeah.
Singing before talking to somebody is a really funny thing to
Yeah,
say.
no, I can definitely sing to somebody before talking to somebody.
Really?
Yes, I don't really like talking that much.
Like, is this like a lot for you to right now to be even having this like? Type of
No, I'm just
conversation?
excited to be here.
Oh, okay.
So no, I'm having a good time.
So like, if you just like went into like a room and they're like, okay, you need to talk to this person, you would probably rather sing to them first.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
honestly.
I respect that.
Because if it's like, oh, Jules, we're about to go in here to meet XYZ, I'm pacing before, okay, I gotta say this. I'm overthinking it.
Right.
But singing is like, that's what I do. I sing all day, every day. So it's kind of like, it's natural.
For you, how did you? Because you mentioned like obviously that stiffness and kind of just being used to just singing and standing in one place, and if you want to be a pop star, you got to expand and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
How did you like take those steps to like expand and then like I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Choreography, get all that kind of down pat, kind of get yourself more comfortable with moving around and whatnot.
Honestly, just getting forced out of my space. So it's kind of like, if I went from doing these little shows and I'm getting thrown on a big stage, it's like, I'm not going to come and waste the opportunity. So it's kind of like, cool. If I have to crash course it, figure it out. And then after that, it's just like honing in, seeing, okay, the crowd likes when I do this, so let's focus on that. It's just kind of learning with experience rather than, having like a mental switch one day. It's like, okay, I got put in a situation that I wasn't the biggest fan of, so I kind of come back and like, oh, I'm not doing that again. Next time I'm doing this. So.
Right. You said you wanted to be like a pop star, right? Do you consider yourself more in the pop lane or in the R&B lane? Because I feel like I listen to your music, I think more R&B, but I'm curious. But since you said that, it made me think about it.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what you've listened to. Honestly,
Yeah.
I have different vibes out. Like the last project I dropped, September 1st, that's a pop project. Like if you listen to that, you're not going to say R&B.
Right.
So it's kind of like with me, I don't want a genre. And I know a lot of people or labels will be like, oh, what's your genre? You need to pick one. You need to niche down. That's what my vibe is. Like, no, it's whatever I want to do right now. Because I'm like, I want to do country. Some R&B is cool. Some rappy songs, pop songs. I mean, like I grew up listening to a lot of songs.
Yeah.
A lot of different music. So it's like, I just love singing in general. And I feel like my genre, I guess, would be, I'm a singer. So it's like, I'm going to sing on the song for sure. But, I got different vibes.
I feel like in some spaces though, like pop and R&B is very similar. Like I think like kind of random thought process, but like I think Billie Eilish kind of sometimes walks that line.
She does.
Like a lot of her songs kind of be like a little slow. Sometimes feel a little R&B-ish.
Yeah, they
but then she has,
definitely
like,
give.
Obviously pop songs and whatnot. So I think there's like a fine line there
Yeah.
between the two where you could do both and still be successful in both lanes.
You definitely can.
I mean, SZA too. SZA has like pop songs that she's done before. The Doja Cat record that she had, right? It was Doja. Yeah, the one that she got with Doja. That's definitely a pop song. That's not an R&B song.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So you were able to walk that fine line.
So it's definitely, it just depends on the song. Like I definitely have R&B songs. I have pop songs. I have songs that could be hip hop songs and a lot of unreleased. So it's kind of like, I don't want to box myself in if I don't have to. I don't feel like I have to.
Right. What was like the first time that like people like they just threw you on the stage and they're like, all right, get comfortable. You remember that? You said you got forced into that, like they had to throw you into that environment.
Honestly, for me, just being a shy girl, it feels like every single time. But I guess on a major level, what was it? I went on like the Baby on Baby 2 tour, and it was like random. Like it wasn't the plan. I came to Atlanta like with my team to shoot cover art, and they're like, okay, you're already out here. Might as well hop on stage. Are you ready? I'm like, well, I'm about to go to the mall and get an outfit.
And that's before you met Baby like that. This is like kind of leading up to
I wasn't really, okay, basically I signed to Quality Entertainment.
Yep.
And, the ties or whatever. But I didn't know him. Like, I didn't really know him, but it was just kind of like, basically it was first impressions, honestly. So that's why I was like, I don't know him, he don't know me, and he's allowing me to be on his stage off the strength of, who I'm tied to. So it's like, cool. I feel like I have no choice but to come and do a great job. So it's like, okay, first tour date, then I have to go to another tour date. So it's like I'm learning with each show, like growing and learning, actually paying attention to the crowd and then feedback.
Right. And what was that first impression like with that night on the show and I guess with Baby in that sense too?
I don't think he didn't see my performance the first night. He didn't see that performance. But for me, that was my favorite one out of all of them.
Really?
Yeah, out of every single one. It was in Tennessee. That was the first stop that I went on. And it was just vibes. Like, it was a bunch of white kids out there screaming, super excited to see anybody. Like, they came here for DaBaby, but they're like screaming and like, no, no. And I'm like, this is my last song, guys. They're like, no, no. And then like after I performed, I like hopped off stage. I was like dancing with them in the crowd, like taking videos and pictures. It was really
that's
fun.
fire.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. That was my favorite show still to this day.
That's dope, especially like with like a crowd of like people who definitely aren't like as familiar with your music.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, like you said, they're
And
there
it
for
was
Baby.
random. Like it wasn't the plan for me to just hop on the tour like that. So it was kind of like cool that I had a great time. And that was like my goal was, okay, cool. I know I need to come on here and do X, Y, Z. I need to move around. I need to dance, do whatever the case may be. But my goal was to go out there and have fun. And they were having fun. So I'm like, who am I to come up here stiff if they're up here lit and they don't even know me? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm about to come down there and turn up with y'all.
Right. And since then, you kind of got like comfortable in that space too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so like when I was listening to like the Worst For Me project, which is super dope. I want to ask you with that joint, right? Because, you know, like you said, the EP that you put out in September, that was more poppy.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, what was like the intent like that you put behind that and like kind of the creation behind that project?
So basically with all of my songs, they're just real. So when I was writing that project, it's like what I'm going through. They're all like in the moment songs. So it's kind of like cool. I kind of like create a lot. So it's like I'm going to just kind of package those emotions because I know what I was going through at that time. Okay, cool. That's this emotion. I can make a whole new project what I was going through that month, make another one with this month. But that's just what I was on. So it was really real. And honestly, for it to be called Worst For Me, it's just like, it's like the most love-hate project. It's like, I love you, but I hate you. So you're the worst. Like, you're the worst for me because it's like you have good and bad things about you. So it's like, it'll stay away, but come, but stay, bye.
You were going
But
through
hey.
something during that time, huh?
Yeah. But the music is fire, so I'm so happy that I went through that.
Right. It worked out.
It worked out,
It
yeah.
worked out in the long run, right?
And, you know, it's just like when I'm making songs, even if it's not 100% about that specific situation, I'm just grabbing inspiration and just like expanding and dragging it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because like I like, you know, because I was watching the video, like I've seen it a couple times, the Love How I Love You video.
Yes.
Right? Which is such a dope video
Thank
too,
you.
right? Like with the visuals too, and I like how like it kind of all very much like ties into each other, including with the album art, and you kind of like sitting down and whatnot with the veil. It's called the veil, right?
Yes.
So like the veil on, like because what I like is when artists like kind of craft like a world around their project, and it kind of feels like
Yes.
cohesive. Crafting that world too, like even down to like this, like you created this world, and I want you, and you kind of talked about it, right? Like, you know, it's like what'd you say? You said I love you, but I
hate you.
I love you, but I hate you.
I love you, but I hate you, but I hate
right?
you. But come here, but bye. Come here, bye.
Like even down to the visuals, like what was like your direction for it too? Like were you super like hands on? Like no, we have to like stick to the theme of that. Like I love you, but I hate you, but I love you. Because like that video definitely really kind of like gave that as well too.
Yeah. Honestly, me back then, I was really more so. I wasn't too tapped in on the creative side with the videos yet. I think I was just kind of all over the place mentally. So I'm kind of like more on the side of like, okay, I wrote this song and this was real for me. Let me actually tell you guys what I was really talking about. I know anybody can listen to a song and paint their own picture, but let me tell you what this is about so we can all paint it together.
Yeah.
So it's like this video was obviously directed by Baby and my team with Quality and TG. So, yeah.
That was fire. So with the pop project, right? Like, where do you go after that? Like, is it kind of like now everything's just gonna kind of merge into like one, or like what is kind of like the direction that you want to go forward in like 2024?
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking everything's probably going to merge into one, unless I just want to just keep being a weirdo and drop the R&B project, then a pop project, then a country project, then a rap project. I don't know.
Are
It
you
just
really gonna do
depends.
the country project?
Yes.
I like that.
I remixed last night Morgan Wallen. I love that. And I mean, I grew up in North Carolina and like went to a bunch of like.
We better start on the radar country next year too. Swear to God.
Okay. I'm going to drop my project before then.
Yeah, pull up. We're gonna be in Nashville.
That's where the show was, my favorite show.
Yeah, right. That's why.
Yes, that's vibes.
Full circle shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably just wanted to mix all my vibes together. And so that's why I wanted to come and say, hey guys, I did drop Worst For Me in this R&B. I know you guys love it, but look at this vibe too. I love this vibe. And I'm kind of just like dropping random things on my TikTok to just test them, see how they feel about this.
And how was that like being received? Like, do you feel like?
Oh no, they loved it. It was just different. But people are kind of like, we love that we can come to you and hear something different. And it's not the same thing every time. But we know we can come and get good music.
Well, the country. Tell me about the country side of you. I mean, like you said, we know you grew up in North Carolina, but like the
Yeah.
country music, is that like something that's like really important to you too, or is that kind of like a hobby thing, or is it something you like listen to and I want to try it?
I would say, like, I'm not going to say it's super important to me, but I definitely really love it. I've listened to country music for a long time now, and a lot of people don't know that. They kind of just laugh it off when I'm like, let me play some country music. Like, no, Jules, please don't play it. And I'm like, no, I like, until the other day when I was talking to this country artist, I didn't even realize like how many artists that I listen to that I really love. And it's just like, I feel like that's a vibe I could do. Like, and you know, I think I might get dragged if I put my little fake country accent on. But I think it's cute, so I'm gonna do it anyways. Like Drake does it. He pulls out accents. I can pull out one too, but mine's a country accent. But I was literally born in North Carolina, so I'm a country girl naturally.
I was about to say, like, it's not that like
It's not that
shocking that you like
crazy.
country music either.
No, I love country music.
Word. So the country album next year, maybe?
Ooh.
Maybe
See,
one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it yet with my team, but at least a single.
Okay, word. You're gonna test out the water.
Yeah, test out the waters. I mean, me personally, I'm a dropper regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like also, and I've said this in a couple interviews, I feel like this week, but there's been a lot of conversation about like the country, hip hop, R&B crossover anyway.
It's
And
hard.
there's also like a lot of like really, since we've been kind of getting ready for this on the radar country shit,
Mm-hmm.
we've also like tapped in like, there's a lot of really incredible like black country artists in
There
Nashville working
are.
right now that are also hip hop crossovers too. Like they do a little bit of both. So
Yeah, I
there's,
like that
definitely, like,
crossover. But me personally, I like the straight up acoustic and your feelings country music.
Yeah.
It's literally R&B, but it's a country voice. That's just how I feel about country music. It's just pain music, and I kind of love it. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, but look how his voice sounds while he's saying it. It's cute. Like, oh, that's so cute.
So the country project coming, well, country single at least coming.
Yeah,
next
at
year.
least.
Word. So what are we
yeah.
doing here today? We performing something on the project. We doing something on release. What are we doing here today?
I think I'm gonna give a little something from Words for Me.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So we're gonna have that out by the time y'all see this. So make sure y'all go check that. What song are we doing?
It's gonna be like Love How I Love You, I Hate Rappers, Mesh.
Fire. Well, make sure you go check that out by the time you see this. The performance is live. Before we get up out of here, we have you perform. Anything else you want to let the people know where they can follow you at, all that good stuff. Now it's time to do it. This camera right here.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube, and my Instagram and TikTok are jew.els. I'm Jules. My YouTube is official Jules Music, and I have a lot of good stuff coming.
There you go. Make sure you go check out everything she has out now. Go check out the 2 projects she dropped in 2023. Look out for the country single. Go show some love. Go show some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time, Jules on the radar. We out. Bow. Love. Appreciate you.